Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm the Notorious B.I.V., and this is my boy, Pauly G.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah. So we were on Rumble. I got us on Rumble. We're on Rumble and YouTube.
Are you ready to rumble?
Oh. And I have to make a correction from last time. The little vacuum cleaner is actually called a Roomba. It's a Roomba. It's not a Rumba.
It's a Roomba.
I totally screwed that up. I'm a complete idiot, and I got to. So big retraction there. Okay.
Sorry, Roomba.
Sorry about that, Roomba. Yeah. So we're on Rumble and YouTube now. We're just like,
wow, we're taking over the internet.
We're taking over, and in fact, our video last week got us a follower on Rumble.
Really?
Really, it's Sharonk2.
All right.
Hey, Sharonk2. Thanks for following us on Rumble. And I that sounds Israeli to me, but I think that's just because of like Yitzhak Sharon. There was a guy, I think he was like an Israeli politician or something named Sharon was his last name. So I don't know if this guy is Sharon K2.
Oh.
Or if he's just Sharonk2. I don't know. Welcome to the show, buddy. And I think we got like a couple of views on on Rumble too.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
I better download Rumble.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's not the friendliest. It's not the friendliest platform I've seen.
Yeah.
Like on YouTube, like on Rumble, it just says, like, who do you want to subscribe to? And it'll like give you some suggestions, I guess. And you choose a couple people, but then that's like that's pretty much all they feed you.
Interesting.
Like on YouTube, it'll just be like, oh, hey, you might like this. You might, they'll show you all sorts of stuff.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
And I like that. I mean, I don't always like it because sometimes they're like trying to feed me crap that I don't want to watch.
Right.
But other times it's like, oh, hey, this is kind of interesting. Like I probably wouldn't have looked this up on my own, right?
Right, right.
And sometimes I find interesting, channels or whatever that, you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, you can check out Rumble.
Okay.
So the thing with Rumble is like they don't. There's not a lot of censorship there.
Oh.
On YouTube, there's quite a bit of censorship.
Oh.
I mean, there are things you can and can't say on YouTube.
And since we're posting our videos on both, we will be careful
and we
to not do anything we shouldn't be doing for YouTube.
Yeah, well, we kind of. I mean, for example, like on YouTube, I don't think you can say rape, for example, right? Or gun, or like there are things like that they just don't like.
So are you going to bleep them out in the video now that you just said them?
No, I mean, we're not. I think most of that is just like monetization and stuff, and we're not really monetized right now.
Well, that's true.
And we don't really say a lot of bad things on ours anyway.
No, right.
But it's fun. But like they'll censor a lot of movies. Like they'll, which is funny. It's just kind of hit and miss. Like I've seen movies that aren't censored on YouTube, and then I've seen a lot that are. And it's just like, okay, whatever. Like it's just kind of random.
I guess there's so much stuff on there. It'd be hard to keep track of everything.
Yeah.
Although I would assume that they probably have AI or something that's like monitoring it for them that just flags things automatically, right?
Yeah. But what else? Oh, well, so a couple times ago, a couple of our videos like got copyright flagged on YouTube.
Oh.
For some reason. And it was really weird because it was the Mandela one.
For what?
Well, it doesn't say. That's the thing. It's just like I was looking at him and I'm like, oh, it says copyright on this one. That's weird. And And then the next
Is
one,
it because you're showing the Berenstain Bears book?
maybe, I doubt it. But then the one after that too got a copyright, and it was just like 2 in a row got copyright, and I was like,
But they don't even tell you what it is.
mm-mm.
That's not very helpful.
And like, so like sometimes when we like react to a music video or something, it'll copyright that, and I'm like, okay, yeah, because we showed like someone else's song and video or whatever, right?
Right.
And it's like, I guess I can kind of see that, although it seems like, in my mind, if you show like a 5-minute song, but like your video is 20 minutes long, then like only like a small portion of the video was like you should be able to comment on stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
When I've seen reactions to videos, they say they have to pause it during the video and they can't show the entire thing or something like that. Otherwise, it'll get taken down.
Maybe that's it. I would have to look into that.
Yeah.
I thought fair use was like, if your commentary is like more of the video, and you're not just showing someone's video, like you're commenting on it.
Right.
But we'll get a copyright for that a lot of times, and so I just thought it was really weird that we got those 2 in a row, because the one after the Mandela effect was just about like, I mean, I don't know, that was about nothing. It was just like, I think the title was "The More Things Change, the More They Stay the Same" or something. And I can't even remember what we talked about. But so we got these 2 copyright things. So I was like, oh, well, that's kind of weird. So this, that was like towards the end of the year. And so I was like, well, maybe we'll just start, maybe we need to start showing stuff on Rumble in case like we get shut down on YouTube or something, But
what does it mean to get flagged? They say you got flagged for copyright, but they don't take the video down though. They just
no.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, I think.
Does it even mean anything?
Well, again, I think it's just monetization. Like if you have a copyright thing on your video, you can't get money off of that video.
Gotcha.
Or something. And we're not monetized, so I don't really worry too much about copyright things. But those 2 in a row were just really weird. I was like, oh, this is weird. Is YouTube trying to? Because I've heard like YouTube is kind of. I've heard some cases where like YouTube's just trying to like shut down little creators or whatever, and just like, kind of make room for like, I mean, yeah, like AI type content that's just like, if YouTube shows AI content or replaces like people like us with AI content that's basically the same, then they don't have to pay the creators, right? They can just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've heard some conspiracies, about that stuff, but
I don't see how AI could do something like what we do.
Well, that's just it. Like they're training it to, one day you would have 2
AI bots
doing, talking about what we talk about or something. But they'd probably be hot anime chicks with huge boobs. But I mean, like, but I don't know, right? Anyway, but then I thought, well, is it like, oh, we have Spider-Man here or something? Like, is that like,
oh,
you know what I mean? Like, is Marvel like, oh, hey, that's our thing or something? But I don't.
But that's been in like every single video.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know.
They're just now finally flagging it.
I don't know that you could like copyright like a movie poster or something, right? Like
in your bedroom.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, enough about that though.
Okay.
We're on Rumble and YouTube, and what should we talk about today? Pauly G. We can talk about ICE protesters and ICE.
That's a big deal right now. My sister is adopted from Korea.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And she's super stressed out about it. And everybody in her family.
She thinks she could get deported or something.
She thinks that ICE could just because she's not white, that they could arrest her, and then it's kind of like arrest people and ask questions later. You know what I mean? Instead of actually doing their due diligence to find out if this person is somebody who they should be bothering.
Right.
Well, I think the story about the lady getting killed really freaked her out. She's been freaked out for a long time, but I think that really pushed her over the edge. So,
well, there's a lot of there's a lot of people trying to make people scared.
Yeah.
So that worked, obviously, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people saying, "Oh, ICE, they're trying to take brown people and black people and whoever out of here," and it's like, and so there's a lot of people trying to get you scared about stuff, and so I can understand someone feeling that way.
Yeah.
So my grandpa is Mexican, and I was talking to my mom about immigration stuff, and she was like, well, if we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your grandpa, coming over illegally, I guess, whatever, when he did. But that was I don't know, that was probably, it could have even been 1800s, I don't know. But that was a long time ago. That wasn't, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, so so yeah, there's a lot going on. And I do feel it's if you want to protest, that's fine. But some of the protests are getting crazy. They're attacking people and they're,
that's not okay.
Yeah. And I feel bad because there are a lot of agitators online and stuff that are getting people all riled up.
Yeah.
And the people that go out there and protest and get injured or killed or beat up or whatever are just they're not even they're listening to these other people who aren't even going out there and doing it themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just firing people up, and then these poor people, gullible people, go out there and get in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the one lady got shot.
Yeah.
And that's, and I can see why I can see, when ICE goes out there in their masks and their goggles and their armor and they're carrying these guns, whatever, it's it's not a good look, obviously, PR wise, right?
Right.
It's obvious, you don't dress up like that and be like, hey, I'm the good guy, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
People, I think people naturally
you look like a terrorist.
Yeah, I think people naturally react negatively to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and what's to stop somebody else from dressing up like that and doing whatever they want to?
True.
Yeah. If you're going to be a law enforcement agent, you should have an ID and a badge and say, I'm so-and-so. Here's my badge. This is what I'm doing. Not just grab people and throw them in your car and drive away with them. You know what I mean? That's not the way. Yeah. That's not the way law enforcement is supposed to work in our country. Then you are the bad guy because that's what terrorists do. They grab people and stick them in the van and drive off. That's not abiding by laws. That's doing your own thing.
Yeah. Well, I think they do have it does say ICE on their back or whatever. I guess sometimes Do they sometimes go in plain clothes to like be stealthy or whatever? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just hearing all these stories about. It just seems like they've taken the law and order and thrown it out the window, and they're just doing whatever they want to instead of saying, so and so, I have a warrant for your arrest. Instead it's like, oh, these are people who we think might be illegal immigrants. Well, we're gonna, like I said before, we're gonna grab you and take you, haul you away, and then find out later who you are and what you're doing. Like that's not the way.
Possibly.
That's not what our country. That's not the way our country is supposed to work.
I don't know. Possibly. I think, but I think, as far as like just grabbing someone and putting them in a van, maybe that happens, but also, if someone's not a citizen, like,
well, according to our Constitution, they still have rights.
What kind of rights?
They need to be you can't you need to take them to court. They need to go to a court of law to be prosecuted. You can't just treat somebody however you want to.
Well, I think
just because they're, that's the way our legal system is set up right now, and it just seems like they're just ignoring that and doing whatever they want to.
Well, I don't know that a non-citizen has the same rights. I mean,
but they do though. Like the Constitution says, for people in our country, even if they're not citizens, these are the rights that non-citizens in our country have.
Are you talking about like due process or whatever? Like,
yeah, but also just they have rights as people in our country, as non-U.S. citizens. They have their own. Our country has already said these are the rights that they have. It's already set up. Like the law is already clear on what their rights are. I mean, and they're being ignored.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I think their rights are like, I think the due process is like, oh, hey, we're seeing if you're illegal. Oh, you're illegal. Okay, we're gonna deport you. Like that was your due process. You know what I mean? It's not like they're gonna go to court and you're gonna have like a jury trial or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, and it's easy to say this is what's happening, but I'm sure there's lots of different things happening. There's lots of different cases about how it's happening.
Sure.
Here in Salt Lake City, Utah, I don't think that this kind of thing is happening. It sounds like my wife was doing some research online to try to make my sister feel better about things, and she was saying it sounds like the only place where ICE is really a problem is at the airport. And so
okay, so like if you're traveling, they're like scanning to see if someone's illegal or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a friend. His wife is from Brazil. She has a green card. She has done everything legal to be in our country, but she won't go visit her family in Brazil because she's afraid that something would happen, either leaving the country or entering the country.
Right.
Which is too bad because there's nothing. She hasn't done anything wrong. She's done everything legally that she's supposed to do to be in our country, to be in the United States. But because of what she's heard, she's like, no, we can't go travel to Brazil to see my family for Christmas because I'm afraid of what might happen,
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. So...
But going back to protests, that was what you were talking about. And I agree. If you're going to protest, you can't be being violent. You should peacefully protest. You can say what you want and protest, but you should not be causing damage to property or people. Like, I definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah. And as far as the mask thing goes, like, it's like, again, like I said, it's not a good look, obviously.
Right.
Right? Like, if, you don't want to look like the stormtroopers from Star Wars or like the Nazis, or you know what I mean?
Right.
But I do understand, like, you're like, say you're an ICE agent that works in Minneapolis, like you live there and you like work in an office there or whatever, and then like one day Trump's like, oh hey, we're sending 1,000 ICE officers in here, and like, and we're gonna do all these operations.
You want to keep your
So you're like, okay,
you want to keep your identity anonymous so that people don't see who you are.
right? Especially is when like, okay, now that we're done with this big operation, everyone pulls out, and now it's like just you and like, you know, your little office here, whoever, like you guys, you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like now you don't have a whole lot of protection anymore, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a tricky situation.
Yeah.
And I feel like a big problem of it is, and we're just about out of time, but like everyone's kicked it down the line like forever. You know what I mean? Like every president and whatever has just kind of kicked it down, and it's like, so
Now it's out of control.
So obviously, like whoever's decides, oh hey, we're gonna like fix this problem now, is gonna be like
The bad guy.
right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, for forever we've just been like, well, you know, whatever, it's not that big a deal. We'll look the other way, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it hasn't been as great numbers either for that whole time. You know what I mean? Until recently, and
Yeah.
now it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, there we are. We sort of addressed the issues.
Well, and for our show, that's probably one of the most controversial topics that we've had, where you and I probably have different views on this topic, and we don't usually talk about things like that.
Yeah, true.
But once again, I think we're respectful to each other.
Yeah, man. Because we're friends. And and when at the end of the day, it's really all about friendship, isn't it, Pauly G?
That, you know, as cheesy as that sounds, I think you're right.
All right. So that's today's show. So be excellent to each other, and we will see you in the next video.
Ice, baby. Dum 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 dum.